Okay, good morning, guys, and welcome. Happy Tuesday morning. My name's Aishling, and I'm here with Casey this morning to take you through a Vinyasa flow practice. We are going to work to open the front body this morning, so a bit of back bending and some slight variations on some very familiar poses. So give them a go and notice how it feels to change something slightly differently. I'm going to start just sitting on the shins, so Japanese seat. When you're ready, come on over. So once you're there, just take a moment to settle into your space. The lower half of your body connect down towards the mat. And we'll start with just a few breaths together this morning. So it will be a 3-part yogic breath. Take a breath in together to prepare. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Nice. Then as you breathe into the base of the belly first. Fill up the bottom part. Hold. Inhale into the ribs, the chest. And then all the way up to the very tops of the lungs. Breathe in. Exhale, let it out. So just a full breath out. Nice. So 3 parts on the inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale out. Take a few more rounds like that, using the whole belly, the whole chest to breathe and to settle in. Let's take one last round here. Good. Start to float your arms up overhead. You can keep your eyes closed if you'd like. Okay, so then as you breathe outwards, cactus the arms, bend the elbows, peel the chest up, maybe lift the gaze or the chin if you'd like. Take a big breath into the front of the chest. And as you exhale, draw your elbows towards each other. So round your spine, squeeze the elbows in. Nice. Breathe in to open. Lift the elbows, lift the chest. Exhale to round and close. Take one more like that. Big breath in, peel up and open. Exhale, close it in. Reopen the arms and the chest. This time take the arms all the way up overhead. As you breathe out, just a little twist to the right. So right arm back, left arm forward. And through the middle, inhale, lift the arms overhead, unravel through the twist. Exhale towards the left. Come back through the middle, bring the arms overhead, and then take your hands onto the mat. Let's meet in a tabletop shape. You take a moment to set up, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take a little wriggle here, find the center. Nice. And then once you're there, let's start to lift the right leg up. Kick it out behind you. Nice, keeping the hips square to the mat. When you feel steady there, you might like to peel your left fingertips up away from the floor. So opposite arm and leg, get really long from the heel to the fingertips. Breath in. So you exhale, knee and elbow squeeze towards each other. So rounding in through the spine. Inhale, lengthening out, going long. Take 2 more like that. Squeezing knee and elbow together. After this last one, let's meet with the arm and leg extended. We're going to hold here. You can stay like this. If you'd like, you could bend your right knee and then take your left hand back towards your right foot. They might reach, or you might just keep that reach, or you could take a bind. Taking the foot into the hand and opening through the chest. One breath here. Ready, gently release what you've got. Take both hands and knees back down towards the mat. And then swap sides, so left leg is long. His hips are squared, and then when you feel steady, peel your right hand up away from the mat. Really, really long, tall through the spine. Breath in together. Exhale to round in. 2 more like that. Your own time, your own breath. Curling into a ball and then getting as long as you can. So let's meet back with the arm and leg extended. You could stay here squeezing the belly in, or you could bend your left knee, maybe find a reach or a bind, peeling the chest and hips open. He's pressing through that left palm, one breath in. Gently release as you breathe out. Nice. Hands and knees back towards the mat. Press the hands down, spread the fingers wide, tuck your toes underneath you. As you exhale, hover your knees up away from the mat, squeeze the belly in. I'm going to pause here just for a moment, keep breathing and pressing the ground away. And the next time you breathe out, send your hips up and back, meet in a down dog. Take a moment, just swim around in this shape. You can pedal out the legs. Cool, and then when you're ready, just find a moment of stillness here. Pressing the chest back towards the thighs. Big breath to settle. Let's inhale, roll the spine forward, come into a high plank. Gentle bend in the knees, roll back, down dog. This one more like that, come forward, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's come all the way back to your plank, sliding forward. Let's drop your knees to the mat, squeeze your elbows in. Let's lower all the way down to modified chaturanga, lay flat onto the belly. Please take your arms forward from here so they reach forward. A little variation of a locust pose. Let's lift the chest up, lift the fingertips, breathe in, and then cactus the arms. So fingertips are lifted, elbows squeeze. Nice. Inhale, the arms reach forward. Exhale, the elbows squeeze back. One last time, inhale, go long. Exhale, squeeze it back. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, come back either through a tabletop or a plank. Find your way to down dog. Next, on your next inhale, let's lift the heels high. So come onto the toes. Nice, bend the knees, breathe out. Step or walk your feet forward to the top of the mat. Take a halfway lift. Fingertips can be on the floor or hands can be on the shins. Please exhale to fold down. Press to stand, lifting up, take the arms overhead. Exhale to fold all the way back towards the mat and breathe out completely. A halfway lift, inhale, fold, breathe out. Plant the hands, step the feet back, high plank. So you can drop your knees or you can keep them lifted this time, chaturanga as you lower. Just come all the way down to the mat. Let's take your fingertips onto the wood. So fingertips wide this time out. Yes, elbows bend, fingertips down. Nice. Press your feet down, peel your spine up, roll up through the center. This exhale, fold down. This time as you lift, let's look over the left shoulder, bend the right knee so you're gazing toward your right toes. Right knee bends in towards the butt. Yeah, nice. Exhale, fold down through the center, arm and legs. Sorry, leg goes long. Nice. Lift up, breathe in, look right, bend left. Nice. Take one more to either side. So looking over the left shoulder, bending the right knee. Nice. And then back through the center, taking it opposite side. Cool. Come all the way through the center, fold down, find your way back to a down dog. Breath in here. Big breath out. Onto the toes with your inhale. Bend your knees, breathe out. Step, walk, or jump forward to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. Folding forward, breathe out. Press to stand, lift all the way up. Full exhale, fold you all the way back towards the mat. Halfway, inhale to lift. Exhale, fold down. Plant your hands, step your feet back, come into a high plank. High plank, knees on or off as you lower chaturanga. So any variation or a cobra pose or an up dog, lots of options, anything that we've already taken. And then find your way all the way back to a down dog. Yes, let's just take one last round like that. So inhale, heels will lift. Exhale, bend your knees. Step, walk, float, top of the mat. Nice, halfway, inhale. Exhale, fold. Stand, lift, drift the arms overhead. Fold forward, breathe out. Lift and lengthen on the inhale. Exhale to fold. Step or float it back into high plank chaturanga. You'll flow from here, moving through the shapes that suit you this morning. From here, you can always skip the flows out, or again, feel free to modify any of those variations that we took in the first couple of rounds. Let's start to float your right leg up towards the sky. You'll bend your right knee, open up through your right hip. You squeeze the heel towards the body. Take an inhale, keeping the shoulders squared towards the mat. Breath out, we'll take your right knee towards your left tricep, so twisting across the body. You send it up and back, three-legged downward facing dog. Right knee now meets your right tricep, so come across, pause there, and then step into a lizard lunge, so right foot outside of right hand. Let's drop the back knee down to the mat. Guide your chest forward, soften into that front knee, the hip. 2 breaths here. You might like to stay right where you are. If you'd like, you could bend your left knee and maybe take a bind with the right hand, so it's opposite foot and hand meeting as you spin around, opening the chest and the hips. Maybe take a little lean back if you've got that bind. Big breath into the front of the chest. Cool. Gently release that back foot. Hands inside of your right foot. Tuck your left toes, lift the left knee. We'll step forward into Malasana at the top of the mat. So left foot steps outside of the left hand. Nice. Hips go down, spine stays long. Bring the hands to the mat now. Lift the hips to the sky. Heel toe your feet closer together. And then stand all the way up. Sweep the arms up overhead. Take a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Breathe in to lift up. And then breathe out, bend over towards the right. Rolling that left shoulder open. Lift back through the center. Exhale, fold forward. Take a halfway lift on your breath in. Exhale to fold, to plant the hands down. You can add a flow here if you'd like. Stepping, floating back. Moving to breath as you go. Next 2 breaths here. Inhale to float your left heel up towards the sky. Bend the knee and open through the hip. Breath in here. The exhale takes the left knee towards the right tricep, so come across the body. Nice, send it all the way up and back. Left knee, left tricep, squeeze forward. And then step into a lizard lunge, we'll meet there. You can drop your right knee down onto the mat. Find a little bit more space through the chest, through the collarbone, and bring the heart forward. Nice, then you can stay here or you could bend your right knee. Take a hold of your right foot with the right hand, left hand, sorry. If they don't meet, you can still keep that reach. So a little bit more work to squeeze the arm and foot towards each other without taking the bind. Gently release what you've got here. Take your hands down, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then bend the knee to spring forward and step into Malasana. Pressing the elbows into the knees, finding a little bit more space. These hands come down to the mat, hips to the sky. Heel toe your feet together, and then stand all the way up, bringing the arms overhead. Take a hold of your right wrist with your left hand, get a little bit taller, and then lean towards the left, keeping the ribs spinning up and keeping the right shoulder open. Through the middle, inhale, fold forward, breathe out. So lift on the inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step it back. It's your flow from here. We're arriving back in down dog. Full breath all the way down into the belly, all the way up to the top of the chest. And a complete breath out. So let's float the right heel up towards the sky. Squeeze your knee towards your nose, round forward, and then step that foot between the palms. Ground through the feet, lift up into a crescent lunge. Nice, so you can keep your back leg straight if that feels good, or you're welcome to find a little bend in that back knee. Just notice what feels best for your lower back. Keeping the hips squared forward. Let's take a breath in. And as you exhale, bend your back knee a lot so it hovers off the mat. Cactus your arms, lift your chest. Let's keep a squeeze of the legs. Press through the feet. Come back to a crescent lunge, sweep the arms up. Nice big breath in. Stay for the exhale out. The next breath will take you into a twist towards the right. So the right arm is back, the left arm is forward. Please reach out through all 10 fingertips. Let's flip the front palm, back hand comes down the back leg or the hip, finally the reverse. Filling that space through the left side of the body. Let's start to unravel and meet in a warrior two. So the back foot will pivot, the arms spin open. Nice deep bend into that right knee as you press through the left foot. Good, flip the front palm, lift up, back to reverse. Both hands are windmill down onto the mat. We'll step back to flow here your way this morning, moving to breath as you go. Let's big breath in. Stay, breathe out. Left leg lifts. Squeeze knee to nose round, forward. Step forward into a crescent lunge. So feet press, arms reach overhead. And that squaring of the hips, so left hip is back, right hip is forward. Let's really press through both feet. Take a big breath in. The exhale, we bend that back knee, we bend the elbows and hover. Healing the chest up. These feet press to lift you back, crescent lunge, inhale. The next breath out is a twist towards the left. Feel that twist come from the middle part of the spine, keeping the hips squared forward. Front palm will flip, let's reverse. Feel that right side open. And unravel to spin, meet warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Deep bend in your left knee this time. Keep guiding your left knee over towards the left. Taking the gaze forward, last breath here. Is flip that front palm, lift up and back to reverse. Hands meet the mat as you spin them down, coming into a flow. Feel free to change it up any way you'd like. Nice. Let's bend the knees and walk the hands back towards the feet here. So we're at the back of the mat. And then bend the knees even further, sweep the arms up. It's Utkatasana, chair pose, arms go overhead. Nice, sending the weight back. Bottom ribs hug down towards hips, so your lower back stays nice and long. Let's breathe in here. Let's exhale, twist towards the right, so right arm back, left arm forward. Through the center, inhale. To the left, breathe out. Come back through the middle. Let's take one more round to each side. So breathing out, twisting to the right. Good. Inhale to the center. Exhale, twist left. Bring your arms all the way back through the middle. Two options from here. You can take your hands down, maybe find a crow pose. If you'd prefer, you could step the feet wide and come into Malasana. So if you're coming into crow, taking the knees to the back of the arms, nice, squeezing the heels up towards the butt. Maybe you're floating one or both feet up. Nice. Last breath wherever you are. Cool, we'll take the feet back to the mat into Malasana now. So feet down, knees wide. Big breath in. The exhale takes the hands to the mat and the hips to the sky, fold forward. Walk your hands back out to your down dog. And start to add in here. Your right leg floats up. Bend the knee and open up through the hip. And the exhale will take the right knee towards the left tricep, squeeze across the body. Inhale, send it up behind you. Breath out to step forwards, a crescent lunge. We re-meet there, grounding to lift, arms reach overhead. The next breath out, we'll bend that back knee deeply, cactus the arms lower. Press the lift, crescent lunge. Exhale to twist towards the right. Flip your front palm, lift up and back. Unravel to meet in warrior two. Nice. From here, flip your front palm, lift up and back, and then gaze towards your left toes, your back toes. You're gonna come into Skandasana from here. So you could stay up quite high if you'd like, or you can come all the way down. Just see what works best for your hips, knees this morning. If you are all the way down, you might like to flex your right toes towards the face. Grounding through that left foot as you squeeze the right heel into the mat. Wherever you are from here, we're going to use that squeeze of the legs towards each other. You can use your hands as well if you'd like along the mat. We're going to come into an extended side angle pose. So re-bend into your right knee. Nice. And then from here, you can stay as you are here with the right elbow on the right side. Or you could lengthen both arms forward so they're at a diagonal. And you're really using your core here to hold you. You're pressing through that back foot, nice and long through the side of the left waist. Nice, last breath together. Let's take that left hand onto the left hip. And we'll come into a half moon pose. So maybe a little bend as you spring forward. Right hand can come to the mat if you're using blocks or something as a substitute for a block. We'll continue to use that for a little bit more height. Flex the top toes, keep that top leg really strong and engaged. It's finding your balance here for one more breath. Good. Gently step your left foot to the back of the mat. It's one smooth movement to flip and reverse that warrior. We meet windmilling to the mat, hands come down. You might like to step your right leg back this time into a three-legged plank or three-legged dog. You can add in a three-legged float here. Big breath in, full breath out. One more like that, inhale together. Exhale it out. Lift your left heel up towards the sky. Ooh, bend the knee and open up through the hip. Breath in. The exhale, left knee, right tricep. Come across the body as you send the weight forward. Lift it up. Three-legged dog. To the nose now, knee comes forward. Step forward, crescent lunge. Arms reach up. Just find that grounding first. Bend the elbows, bend that back knee, peel open to hover. Press and lift, crescent lunge, inhale. Exhale, we twist towards the left. Shoulders drop, arms stay really strong. Front palm flips up and lifts back to reverse. Cool, unravel from here, warrior two. Front palm lifts up and back to reverse. And then gaze towards your right toes, the back of your mat, bend into Skandasana. So bending deeply into that right knee here. Find your shape this morning. Just keeping the legs squeezing in towards each other. A little flex of the left toes towards the face. Hug your left heel into the mat. Let's use that to slide us forward now into a side angle shape. So you can come with that left forearm on the thigh, rolling the ribs up towards the ceiling, spin the heart up. You might like to stay with this variation, or you could lengthen both arms forward, coming into that longer variation, the arms long. Keep that same spin of the chest up. Nice. Keep the breath. Notice what happens if you've got the arms extended. Nice. Take the top hand onto the top hip. Float your way forward into a half moon pose. Toes flex, top leg stays strong. Maybe even floating that top arm up towards the ceiling once you've got your balance. He's grounding through that left big toe. Really good balance. When you're ready, step your right foot to the back of the mat. It's a lift and a flip to reverse. Nice. Hands windmill down. Left leg floats back behind you to flow. There's 5 big breaths here in your down dog. If there's another shape you'd rather take, child's pose, forward fold, really welcome to do that. Just the next moment or two to let the breath settle. Right, so the right leg will float back up now, lifting overhead. This time step straight forward, crescent lunge, come forward. Ground to lift, arms reach up, breathe in. Back knee bends, arms cactus, exhale. Inhale, crescent lunge, lift. Exhale to twist towards the right. With the front palm, reverse. Unravel warrior two. Flip the front palm, lift up and back. Slide your way into Skandasana, bending your left knee. Nice, heels squeeze together. You might slide all the way into that extended variation of side angle pose with the arms long here. Nice. Legs squeeze, arms go long. Last breath. Next exhale will float you forward. It becomes half moon pose, lifting up, right hand down. Cool, you can flex the back toes. You could stay here. If you would like, you could come into a revolved version of this shape. So the left hand will meet the mat and the right hand will peel up, coming into a twisted half moon pose. It's a tricky one, so give it a go. Nice, last breath wherever you are here. Gently step your left foot to the back of the mat. We all meet and unravel into a reverse warrior two from wherever you are. Make it nice and forward. Cool, hands windmill down towards the mat. Send your right leg up and back, 3-legged down dog this time. Bend your right knee and open up through your right hip. Welcome to stay right here. If you'd like, flip your dog over. Lifting the hips, lifting the chest, beautiful. Come all the way back, 3-legged down dog. Keep your right leg lifted if you can. One breath in. Exhale takes your right knee towards the left tricep, draw it across the body. You could pause in this balance. You could kick it out towards the side, find a fallen triangle, maybe peeling that left arm up, pressing the hips towards the sky. Good, take your left hand down, send your right leg all the way back up. So your flow from here will arrive back in down dog. You could skip out the flow and just take the feet to the mat if that suits you better this morning. 2 breaths when you arrive. Good, float your left heel up. Step it forward, crescent lunge. Inhaling, we rise. Exhale to bend and crescent, cactus. Lift up, inhale, crescent. Twist, breathe out towards the left. Put the front palm to lift and reverse. Unravel, warrior two, we meet. Front palm lifts and flips. Skandasana into that back knee, the right knee bends this time. Squeezing in. Maybe you don't need your hands as you slide forward into that side angle shape, your variation here. Chest spins up. Nice half moon pose as your next breath out as you float your way forward. Cool. Again, you could stay right here. You could take any variation you'd like. Or if you took it on the other side and you'd like to try again, let's bring the right hand to the mat. Feel the left hand to the sky. It was a little tricky. Let's keep flexing the back toes. One last breath. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. Unravel. So reverse warrior, lift up and back. Nice. Take your hands down. Send your left leg up and back. Three-legged downward facing dog. Bend the right knee. Left knee and open the hip. You can stay here. You could flip your dog over. Nice. Pressing through that bottom hand. Find your way back. Three-legged downward facing dog. The exhale will take that left leg towards the right tricep, come across the body. You can stay here. You could kick into a fallen triangle, maybe peeling that right arm up. These hands find their way to the mat, left leg to the sky. A little flow here to meet downward facing dog. When you arrive, let's all drop the knees to the mat and just find a child's pose for a few breaths here. So you can take the knees wide or you can keep them together. See what works for you this morning. Let the hips soften onto the heels, the head rest towards the mat. For the next moment or two, can you focus back onto the breath? Maybe coming back to that three-part inhale and just a big breath out. Thinking belly, ribs, chest on the inhale. Maybe opening the mouth to exhale. That's 4 big breaths. When you're ready, you take your hands forward if they're not forward already. Press the hands down. Let's come into a tabletop quickly, just for a moment. Take a little wriggle out. A little cat-cow if that feels good. Then tuck the toes and the hips up and back. Come into a down dog. Walk, step, or jump your feet forward to the top of your mat. Just a little forward fold here for a moment. The feet can be hips distance apart. You can bend your knees as much as you'd like. Head is nice and heavy towards the toes. Might feel nice to take a little sway from one side to the other. Wriggle out your spine, release the head and neck. Good, and then release the hands. Let's slowly roll the spine up until we're standing. Lift the arms up overhead. And let's draw the right knee up into the chest. Let's come into a figure 4 shape from here. So right ankle over left thigh, some hips down and back. You can bring the hands together at the chest if that's more comfortable for you. Flexing the right toes towards the face. Balancing here for the next couple of breaths. Let's press down through that left foot and slowly start to draw the right knee up into the chest, bring the arms back up overhead. Here we're going to come into a slight variation of a very familiar shape. So you can take your right heel behind you, squeeze it towards your butt. It's going to be a twisted dancer's pose. So the left hand is going to come to the inside top arch of the right foot. And then this might feel a little bit different or a bit awkward, so you can stay where you are, or you can kick that foot into the hand and start to slide forward, finding a bit more of an opening for the chest, a bit of a back bend here. Notice how it feels to change the shape slightly. Good, last breath. Nice, gently release that right foot to the mat. Turn the palms to face forward, come into mountain pose. The shoulders soften. Breathing again from the bottom of the belly all the way up to the chest. From here, let's start again to float the arms up overhead and draw the left knee up into the chest. So grounding through that right foot this time. Come into your figure four shape, open eagle, left knee out towards the left, hips sit down. Move your focus to balance here, to breathe. Right foot ground into the mat, draw the left knee up into the chest, take the arms overhead, steady your balance here. And then slide that left heel behind you, squeezing it in towards the body. We'll take a hold of the left foot with the right hand this time. Just kick the foot into the hand. You could stay here, or you could find your twisted dancer's pose this morning. Nice, really good balance. 2 more breaths. Gently release left foot to the mat. Let's come into that same shape, Tadasana, mountain pose. 4 big breaths here. Nothing else needs to happen. Cool. Slowly float your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold all the way to the mat. Plant your hands down, step back into a high plank. And then when you're ready, just lay down onto your belly. Nice, take a moment here. Settle the hips and tops of feet onto the mat. And then take your arms forward. So your arms are long on the mat. Nice. So from here, we're going to lift the right arm and the left leg. So squeeze them up. Nice, drop it down. Let's also now lift the left arm, right leg. Good. This time we'll start to add the chest in. So right arm, left leg, chest lifts. Lower. Opposite side, lift the chest. Nice, 1 more to each side. Good, then come back to center. So we'll take the same sort of variation we took standing here. So we're going to bend your left knee. And then you can reach your right hand towards your left foot. They might not meet, so you can keep with the reach, or you can find a vine. From here, let's kick the foot into the hand and peel everything up off the mat. So both arms and legs are away from the floor. Spine stays long, reach out to the fingertips. Nice, it's exactly the same shape, it's different plane. So 2 big breaths here, keep that steady breath. Nice, when you're ready, gently release, lower to the mat. Take a moment to wiggle out through the hips or sway the legs if that feels good to release the lower back. And we'll find that same variation on the other side. So right knee bends, left hand reaches back. They mate. They might bind, they might not, doesn't matter. You ready, kick foot into the hand, peel everything up away from the mat. Just feel that lift through the chest, through the legs. Getting long as much as you are lifting up. Last breath in, tiny bit higher. Yes, gently release, lower down. A moment here, head can rest on the hands, hips can wiggle out. Take 4 or 5 breaths here, let everything settle back down. Good, let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders now. Let's tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Last little bit before we really start to slow down here, we're going to come into a dolphin pose. So forearms rest down towards the mat. Nice, once you're there, you might like to tiptoe your feet a little bit closer towards your face, squeezing the belly in. Really welcome to stay exactly where you are. If you want to, you could float one leg up. Playing around with that. Changing towards the other side, float opposite leg. These last 2 breaths wherever you are. Good, find your way back to one last downward facing dog. Good, from here, just bend your knees, tiptoe your feet towards the top of the mat, and then sit down. You're there, let's take the left leg long, and we'll stack the right ankle on top of the left leg. So you're going to come into either a half square pose, or if you have a full square pose and you'd like to go there, you can. So flexing the toes, you can keep that left leg straight, or you can bend it underneath you, coming into the double variation. So it might feel quite intense to the outside of that hip. You can always lengthen that leg back long. Find what works for you. Again, if you have blocks or anything at home, you can support that right leg. Always welcome to stay sitting up, or you can start to fold forward, find a little bit more intensity through the outside of the hip. Letting the chest come forward for the next few breaths. Three more here. Start to slowly lift your chest up. And if you have that left leg bent as well, you can straighten it back out. We're just going to take that right leg over the top of the left now. Again, you could rebend that left knee coming into a double bent knees. Take the arms up, and then we'll twist over towards that bent knee, so towards your right. Just finding that twist, maybe gazing over the back shoulder. Let's come through the center and then take it over towards the left. Find a counter twist in the opposite direction, chest down towards the mat. Good, unravel back through the middle. Both legs unravel, soles of the feet to the mat, hands behind you, fingers point towards your body. Let's press down through the feet and through the hands, and then lift up into a reverse tabletop. Squeezing the hips towards the sky. You gently lower down, hips come back towards the mat. Little windscreen wiper of the knees to one side to the other. And then sit all the way back up. We'll just swap sides. So the right leg will stay long, left ankle crosses on top of the right. And you can stay here. You might find a little support for underneath that left knee, or you can bend the right knee as well and find a full square pose. The choice is yours. This side might feel totally different, so take what you'd like. And then when you're ready, we'll gently fold forward. Breathing into that sensation through the outside of the hips. Three more full breaths just like that. Good, let's lift the chest up. If that bottom leg is bent, straighten it back out and step your left foot over the right leg. Again, you could then reset and bend that right knee so it squeezes towards the left sit bone. Keep the arms overhead and take a little twist over towards the left. Keeping that lift through the spine. Let's unravel through the center, counter twist towards the right side, chest down. And then back through the middle. Hands come behind you, feet unravel. So you can stay with your knees bent and come into the same reverse tabletop shape as we came in before. If you'd like, you could straighten your legs before you lift, so your heels are at the top edge of your mat, and you're lifting into a reverse plank position. Nice, hips come up, whole front body is open, 2 big breaths. Slowly lower down. Good, take a little wriggle out through the legs. And then keep the legs long. Take the arms up overhead. And we'll fold forward into Paschimottanasana. So you can hold on to the feet or the calves, or you can just rest the hands either side of the legs. Making it as active or as passive as you like here. So you can keep the reach, keep the length through the spine. If you need a little bit more rounding this morning, soften forward. Chest softens towards the thighs for one last moment here. Let's slowly lift up. Take the arms up over, I'll take the arms out, forward, sorry. Squeeze the belly in, and we'll just really slowly roll down onto our backs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. When you get down, give the knees a little squeeze up into the chest. Maybe take a little roll around to release that lower back. Then when you're ready, soles of the feet come down onto the mat. So the knees are bent, knees point up. The heels nice and close towards your body. We'll come into a 1 round of bridge pose this morning. So press your heels down, slowly tuck the tailbone and peel the hips and spine up off the mat. Okay, so when you get to the top, you can stay there. You can shuffle your shoulders underneath you and find a little bind of the hands together. And stay for about the next 5 breaths or so. And the hips squeezing up. And the next time you breathe out, let's lower the hips towards the mat and find a little pause when you're right. From here, it might be a little sway of the knees or taking the feet wide and knocking the knees together to find a little bit of opening through the lower back. If you'd like to stay where you are, absolutely do that. Otherwise, we have an option for one last back bend this morning. So that could be another bridge pose, or if you'd like to practice wheel, you could go there also. So wherever you're going, reset your feet. If you're coming into wheel, the hands can come by the ears. So just take your time to come into your own shape this morning. And let's again stay for a few rounds of breath when you arrive. Good, last round of breath. Slowly come down and rest the hips towards the mat. And again, any movement or any shape that feels good from here, take that. So let's take one last little twist together. So both knees are bent, hug them in towards your chest. Arms come out to a T, let both knees fall towards the right side of the room, shoulders and knees heavy. Finding a little bit more depth to twist each time you exhale, soften through the belly, the shoulders. Knees draw back through the center now, and then let them fall towards the left. Again, twisting through that middle part of the spine. Bring your legs all the way back through the center. We'll take a happy baby pose. So you can hold onto the outside blades of the feet, hug the knees towards the armpits. You might stay still here. You could rock around or straighten one leg and the other. And then when you feel ready, let's meet in Supta Baddha Konasana. So take the soles of your feet together and the knees nice and wide. You can keep the hands beside you, or you could rest the hands somewhere on the body. Let's revisit that same breath we took at the start. So it will be a 3-part breath on the inhale. And you can open the mouth to breathe out completely. Let's take one breath to prepare. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Nice, into the belly now as you inhale. To the ribs, breathe in more. All the way to the tops of the lungs, as much air as you can fit. Open the mouth, a big breath out, let it go. Again, like that, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale. One last round, biggest breath yet, from the belly to the chest, ribs to the chest. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Letting yourself come back to a natural rhythm of breath. If there's any other shape from here that's calling you this morning, if you need another twist or another stretch in any way, take that. Anyways, when you do feel ready, we'll come into our last pose, our resting shape. That might be staying just as you are. Might be taking the legs long, if you're at home, getting a blanket or getting comfortable in any way that suits this morning. Allow yourself to take up as much space here as you'd like. Each time you breathe out, every part of the body gets softer and heavier towards the mat, fully supported by the ground beneath you. Next few moments, Shavasana. If you'd like to stay here a little bit longer this morning, feel free to take as long as you'd like. If you feel ready to start to come back, let's start to wriggle the toes, the fingers. Might feel nice to take a little roll through the head, through the neck. And take the arms up overhead, take a really big stretch. When you're ready, roll over onto whichever side you prefer. And then eventually we'll all meet just in a seated position at the top of your mat. So slowly make your way up. We'll bring the hands together at the chest, keeping the eyes closed down. One last breath together. Inhale in through the nose, out of the mouth. Thank you for joining us this morning to practice together. Namaste.